This is a true story. It happened a long time ago in the United States of America. It is the story of a brave woman. Her name was Harriet Tubman. She was born into slavery. That means she was not free. She had to work very hard. She had no rights. But Harriet was not afraid. She escaped from slavery. Then she went back, again and again, to help other people escape too. She became a hero. She changed the lives of many. She showed us the power of courage, kindness, and never giving up. But to understand Harriet's strength, we must go back to the beginning. Let's look at Harriet's early life. Harriet Tubman was born in the year 1822. She was born in the state of Maryland in the United States. Her name at birth was Araminta Ross. Later, she changed her name to Harriet after her mother. Harriet was born into slavery. Her family were slaves too. They were not free. They worked for other people, and they were not paid. As a child, Harriet worked very hard. She worked in the fields. She cleaned houses. She took care of babies. But she was often treated very badly. She was beaten many times. One injury caused her lifelong pain. Sometimes she would suddenly fall asleep. This happened all her life. But Harriet was strong. She learned from her mother and father. They taught her about faith, hope, and the dream of freedom. As Harriet grew older, her dream to escape became stronger. And one day, she made a very brave choice. Harriet Tubman was now a young woman. She had worked hard for many years. She had seen pain, sadness, and cruelty. She saw her family suffer too. Her brothers, sisters, mother, and father, they were all slaves. Harriet wanted something different. She wanted freedom. She wanted to live her life in her own way. She wanted to be safe. She wanted to be free. In the year 1849, Harriet heard something frightening. She might be sold to a different slave owner, far away from her family. This was the final moment. She said to herself, "I will run away. I will find freedom. I will not wait." One night, she left. She told no one. She walked alone in the dark. She could not take a bag or food. She could not make a sound. If someone caught her, they could punish her, or worse. Harriet followed the North Star. She knew the star would lead her to the free states. She traveled through forests, rivers, and fields. She was cold. She was hungry. But she never turned back. Along the way, some kind people helped her. They gave her food, water, and a place to rest. These people were part of a secret network called the Underground Railroad. They believed slavery was wrong. They helped people like Harriet escape. After many days, Harriet reached the north. She was finally free. She could walk in the sunlight. She could speak without fear. She could choose her own path. But Harriet was not only thinking about herself. She missed her family. She missed her friends. She knew many people were still in slavery. Harriet had found freedom, but she knew she had to go back. She had to help others escape too. This is where her mission truly began. Harriet Tubman was finally free. She had reached the north. No one could own her now. No one could tell her what to do. She could have stayed there. She could have lived a quiet, safe life. But Harriet could not forget the people she loved. Her mother, her father, her brothers, her sisters. All of them were still slaves. All of them were still suffering. So Harriet made a brave and dangerous decision. She would go back to the South. She would help her family escape. And not only her family, she would help anyone who wanted to be free. But how could she do it? She was just one woman, and the South was full of danger. Slave catchers were everywhere. There were laws that said escaped slaves must be returned. Anyone helping slaves could be arrested or even killed. Still, Harriet went back. She became a part of something very special, the Underground Railroad. It was not a real train. There were no tracks. There were no tickets. It was a secret network. It was made of safe houses and brave people. These people hated slavery. They wanted to help. Harriet was called a conductor. She led people from one safe place to the next. She knew when to hide. She knew when to move. She was smart, quiet, and strong. She traveled at night. She used the stars to guide her. She listened to the wind and the woods. She followed the rivers. She sang songs, but not just for music. Her songs had secret messages. They told others when it was safe to move or when danger was near. She carried a small bag with food and water. Sometimes she carried a revolver to protect her passengers and to make sure no one gave up or turned back. Each trip was full of fear, but Harriet stayed calm. She never lost a person. Every man, woman, and child she led reached freedom. People began to whisper her name, Moses, like the prophet from the Bible who led his people out of slavery in Egypt. Harriet Tubman made about 13 trips back to the South. She helped more than 70 people escape, and she gave advice to help hundreds more. Each time she went back, the danger grew bigger, but her courage grew stronger. She once said, "I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger." She became a symbol of hope, a true hero, a voice for the voiceless, a guide in the night. But Harriet's journey was not finished. Her bravery would take her even further, into the heart of a war. By now, Harriet Tubman was known as a hero. She had made many dangerous trips to the South. She had helped over 70 people escape slavery. She had never been caught, and she had never lost a passenger. But Harriet's courage didn't end there. In the year 1861, everything changed. A big war started in the United States. It was called the Civil War. The country was divided into two sides. The North, called the Union, the South, called the Confederacy. The South wanted to keep slavery. The North wanted to stop it. So they went to war. It was a sad and violent time. Families were torn apart. Soldiers were dying. The future of the country was not clear. Harriet knew she could help. She was not a soldier, but she had something powerful: bravery, knowledge, and experience. She joined the Union Army. At first, she worked as a nurse. She cared for sick and injured soldiers. She used natural plants and herbs to make medicine. She cleaned wounds. She gave comfort. Many soldiers said she saved their lives. But soon, the army saw that Harriet could do more. She knew the South. She knew the land, the roads, and the forests. She could speak quietly, move quickly, and stay calm. So she became a spy for the Union. That means she went into enemy areas and gathered important information. She watched the enemy. She listened to their plans. She talked to people secretly. Then she brought the information back to help the Union Army. It was very dangerous. If she had been caught, she could have been killed. But Harriet Tubman was not afraid. In the year 1863, Harriet led a military mission. It was called the Combahee River Raid. This was a special operation. Harriet worked with Union officers. She helped plan the attack. She helped guide boats through rivers filled with traps and enemy guards. That night, they moved carefully and quickly. They attacked a group of plantations. And the best part? They freed over 700 slaves in one night. Harriet was the first woman in American history to lead a military raid. This was not just bravery. This was leadership. This was history. After the raid, people were amazed. Soldiers respected her. Leaders thanked her. But Harriet did not want praise. She said, "I was doing God's work." She didn't fight with weapons. She fought with her heart, with her faith, and with her actions. But even after the war, Harriet still had more work to do. The war was over. Slavery had ended. Millions of people were now free. Harriet Tubman had done so much. She had helped people escape. She had worked as a nurse, a spy, and a leader. She had changed lives. She had changed history. But Harriet did not stop. After the Civil War, life was still hard for many people, especially for Black Americans. They were free, but they had no money, no homes, and no schools. Many people still treated them unfairly. Harriet wanted to help. She used the little money she had to help people in need. She opened her home to sick people and older people. She gave them food. She gave them love. She gave them hope. She also worked for women's rights. At that time, women could not vote. Harriet gave speeches. She told people that women and men deserve the same rights. She spoke with other leaders. She told the story of her life. She told people, "We are all equal. We all deserve freedom." Even though she was poor, Harriet gave everything she had to others. She lived a simple life. She wore simple clothes, but her heart was big. She helped everyone she could. In 1908, a special place opened in her name, the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged. It was a home for poor, elderly African Americans. It was built on land she owned, and she lived there too, in her final years. Harriet Tubman died in 1913. She was about 91 years old. Before she passed away, her last words were, "I go to prepare a place for you." She lived for others. She gave her life for justice, for peace, and for freedom. Harriet Tubman was born into slavery, but she chose freedom, not just for herself, but for others. She led over 70 people to safety, helped during the war, cared for the poor, and fought for equal rights. Today, she is remembered as a hero. Her name is honored in schools, streets, and history books. She believed in freedom, equality, and doing what's right. You don't need to be rich or famous, you just need to be brave. Harriet Tubman followed the stars, broke the chains, and became the voice of freedom. Wow, what an incredible story! Harriet Tubman showed us the meaning of true courage, She was brave, strong, and full of heart. She didn't just fight for her own freedom, she helped many others find freedom too. Now that you've listened to the full story, take a moment to think. What did you learn? What words or ideas stood out to you? Stories like this don't just teach us history, they help us learn real English too. You heard new vocabulary, simple sentence structures, and clear storytelling. And now it's your turn. Let's see how well you understood the story. I will ask you 5 questions. You can pause the video and answer out loud. Are you ready? Let's begin. Question 1. Where was Harriet Tubman born? A. In Canada. B. In the United States. C. In England. The answer is B. In the United States. Question 2. What does it mean that Harriet was born into slavery? A. She had a lot of money. B. She worked for her family's farm. C. She was not free and had to work for others. The answer is C. She was not free and had to work for others. Question 3. What was the Underground Railroad? A. A real train under the ground. B. A secret path to help people escape slavery. C. A game that children played. The answer is B. A secret path to help people escape slavery. Question 4. What job did Harriet Tubman do during the Civil War? A. Soldier. B. Farmer. C. Nurse and spy. The answer is C. Nurse and spy. Question 5. Why is Harriet Tubman remembered today? A. She was a famous singer. B. She helped people find freedom and fought for equal rights. C. She became president. The answer is B. She helped people find freedom and fought for equal rights. Great job! If you got 3 or more correct, well done. You understood the story. Now let's take a moment to review the key vocabulary, phrases, idioms, and everyday expressions you heard in the story. I'll say each one slowly, give you a simple explanation, and then use it in an example sentence. Feel free to pause the video and repeat after me to practice. Ready? Let's get started. Number 1. Slavery. Slavery means when people are treated like property. They are forced to work without pay and have no freedom. Example: Harriet Tubman escaped from slavery and helped others do the same. Number 2. Freedom. Freedom means you can live your life how you choose. You can speak, move, and make choices for yourself. Example: Harriet wanted freedom, not just for herself, but for others too. Number 3. Spy. A spy is someone who secretly watches or collects information, often during a war. Example: Harriet worked as a spy to help the Union during the war. Number 4. Civil War. The Civil War was a big war in the United States between the North and the South. Example: the Civil War was fought over slavery and freedom. Number 5. Legacy. Legacy means what someone leaves behind, their impact, or how people remember them. Example: Harriet Tubman's legacy is one of bravery and hope. Number 6. Brave. Brave means not afraid to do something hard or dangerous. Example: Harriet was brave. She kept going back to help more people. Number 7. Faith. Faith means strong belief or trust in something, like hope or belief in God. She had faith that she was doing the right thing. Number 8. Justice. Justice means fairness, making sure people are treated equally and doing what is right. Example: Harriet fought for justice so everyone could be free. 9. Stand up for what is right. This means to speak or act for something that is fair or good, even if it's hard. Example: Harriet stood up for what is right by helping others gain freedom. 10. Make a difference. This means to change something in a good way, to help or improve a situation. Example: She made a difference in many people's lives. Great job today! You listened to the story of Harriet Tubman, and you learned many new words, phrases, and idioms. These words can help you in real life. Try to use them when you speak or write in English. They'll help you sound more natural and confident. Remember, you don't need to memorize everything at once. Just practice a little every day. Listen, repeat, use what you learn. That's how your English gets better, step by step. I'm really proud of you. You stayed with us until the end, and that shows real commitment. Now, as we close today's episode, let's remember what we learned. We learned that language is powerful, and so are the people who use it. Harriet Tubman used her courage to change the world. You can use your voice to do something great too, starting with learning English one story at a time. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, subscribe to English Phrases Hub, and click the bell icon so you don't miss the next story. And tell us in the comments, what word or phrase did you like the most today? What inspired you from Harriet's story? Thanks for watching. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. This is Jake from English Phrases Hub. I'll see you in the next episode.